Right, so this is not based on a video. This is just me talking. Hello, my name is Simon Tracer. Welcome to a Science Me video. This time, medical science. So, as you might expect from the title being Overnight Medical Tune-Up Plus, is this like some weird sci-fi novel or whatever idea? Horror thriller where people are harvesting organs and whatever else, and then you end up with like whatever other people getting healthy while some people are being used as um, organ harvesting and all of that. Well, yeah, yes and no, and like kind, but not, but the sort, but the and a little bit. I don't know why I assumed plum sauce would go well with Chinese food. I just happen to think that maybe it will. Okay, so concept. What are you talking about? Yes, one of my other names is Concept Viperion. I want to infest the world with my knowledge. Anyway, imagine how much wasted time we have while we sleep. How some people don't even get as much sleep as they want. Imagine if everyone in the world, while they slept, had a invasive medical procedure or two. I don't know. Where you take out one organ that's not doing so well and you give it a tune-up. So you're having a problem where healthcare is so simple that you could just be like, well, you're not exactly unhealthy right now, but I mean, if you got a lung thing, if you got a liver thing, if you got a heart thing, we could just, pull that out of you, or mostly aid in your recovery as you sleep. And one of the best things is, with nanotechnology, we don't even need to take you apart to do that. All we have to do is inject you with the nanotechnology, controlled by an on-site transmitter, and highly sophisticated, human-controlled computer that can tell the nanites to go and do this thing to the organ, and you can end up with freshly what a refresh. Your organs become better. Like we can do all the stuff like the dilation and whatever else extra stuff that it takes so that your parts become more healthy than they were literally the night before. So one night we deal with one thing and then you wake up and you are a percentage better. The next night you do another thing, and over the course of a month, you're basically at full health. Now we get into the plus. This is where instead of having just an overnight stay, you might do something over the weekend, and we might take some, even though we probably could take samples of like heart cells, lung cells, kidney cells, pancreas, and whatever else you want to think of, liver, and we could take those and have them start to grow an entirely new organ for the sake of someone else who is honestly been underkept for too long, or whatever, if you want to put it that way, so that when we have people who are like really sick from like a virus or something, we could just be like, well, no, now we just take these new parts that we got from grabbing like little bits and pieces from other people that are one totally easily repairing as we do. I mean, you could literally just go back into the workforce. There's no chance that you're just going to have a terrible fainting spell. We've managed for that. Like the amount of blood that you have to give. Think about, instead of having to give a large amount of blood over a short amount of time, we can just, run a little bit of a tiny little tap going on, right? We take some and we help you generate more so that you actually have a more, like, temporarily, and we make sure that you're regular enough that you can go back, and if we never dealt with you again, you'd be totally healthy for the next foreseeable future. Way better than you were before you came here. So you think of people with cancerous cells and stuff like that. What if you take the nanotech and you simply go in there with these tiny little robots, you organize around that part of the body that has the cancer, right? And you take it all and you get it so that it's all managed with, like, maybe some, you could use mucus or like metal filings or something else that's like, it can coat the, like, literally give you an infection deliberately to make the cancer cells more attractive to be like, make your immune system want to kill them more likely, and then, or want it so that your body wants to just eject that cancerous part out. We don't have to shrink it, we just have to make it so that it just gradually wants to leave the body. Or the body gradually wants to push it out. Like, you get one of those nails in your leg or whatever else, and you just let that be pushed right back out from your body. It'll happen. Something like that, but for cancer. Why not? Why are people so bothered with infections? The problem is the idea of the infection spreading and how much we can manage and maintain that. Again, a vast quantity of nanotechnology, basically an immune system boost, gives it so that you have the full potential of completely controlling, like 100%, where the infection goes. So if you have a tooth that's gonna have problems, by the way, teeth, dental situations, um, why don't you just infest the tooth with enough and rebuild the material of the tooth from the inside? Yeah, just take some nanotechnology, right? Infest people's teeth and then start building it up. And it can be calcium, it can be whatever else, and you can undergo different like heat treatments, chemical treatments, stuff like that, where it's all able to meld with your teeth and not be something as stupid as fillings that are literally, let's face it, a bad patch job. There's a lot of positive feedback about fillings, and I can tell you right now, it could be better. Like literally infusing your tooth with enamel or calcium or whatever it is teeth are made of. Like the actual normal stuff, the stuff that they're supposed to be made of, instead of like a compound or whatever. And without needing to drill. Like the part of the tooth that's messed up is like a small part on the inside. And they have to make a hole to get to the hole that's already in there. And then they gotta fill that up. Well, no, they don't need to do that. Because to tools, if you use tools that are small enough, that hole is accessible. Just as much as it's accessible to the bacteria that might cause a problem in your teeth, our technology should be able to go in there and instead of pulling stuff out of the tooth, where like a sugar molecule got stuck in there or whatever, we can, one, clean out the sugar molecule, and two, put in the stuff that it takes so that your teeth become healthy again. Not just randomly, but by a structure-based, like we know exactly where all the parts need to be, and we only put the parts where they need to be. We don't make you have tumatoma or whatever else going on here. We aren't clumsy. We aren't lazy. We are methodical. We make sure all the parts are, we make sure all of the compounds get to where they need to be, right? And not just go everywhere else. Like you're not gonna have some random piece of cartilage in your eye or because it drifted or some bullshit. Because the virus decided it wants to take stuff and then just put it elsewhere. I don't. Why did? That's not based on anything. Don't read into that. That was a random thought. Um, why would a virus want to do that? That ends up happening. I'm so sorry. Um, that you didn't watch this video and be prepared for when that could happen. It doesn't have to be your eye. It could be your heart or something. Um, especially your heart. I mean, there's so many things that can happen to your heart. And then let's just imagine that if you were to give like a week of your time with your healthy body, um, for less sophisticated facilities, it would be possible to spruce up your heart, spruce up your other organs so that you get a nice organ. But as we have the rest of you like totally able to just stay on life support and stuff for longer than an unhealthy person, we can then take your whatever parts that we can viably turn into a separate extra part for someone else. We can then get that started and then put all the stuff back into you that needs to go back into you, and give a new other person the chance to have something, because right now it's just bad. Whatever happened to them, it's just bad. And suddenly we have super soldiers. But I mean, and also we have people who are like reckless, which we got to make sure that doesn't happen too much. I mean, if you're being stupid and like funniest home videos stuff, stop it. Stop sharing those videos, first of all, because ignorance is not just the idea of bliss. Ignorance is literally the fact that you won't be thinking this could even happen and be funny for someone else. Instead, you're infused with the ideas that you need to make sure that you're responsible for your actions and you keep other people responsible and doing things with a good head on their shoulders and not end up with all of these mistakes, accidents, and stuff. The other thing is, what if you could take a sleep and turn that into a virtual reality time? That we can engage your brain's normal dream cycle and stuff, activate that sooner, help you be on a course so that you can just go into your dreams space, but then we can make you lucid dream so you have control over that space, and then you can use that time to be productive. Like you're literally working 24/7, burning the candle at both ends. But that's because you're managed in a way that can help you have that strength to do that thing for as long as you want. Or, obviously, recreation, entertainment. You get more entertainment better than in your sleep than you ever could in a virtual situation nowadays. Like, you literally can imagine feeling, seeing, physically doing all sorts of stuff. And your brain is smart enough, you could do calculations, play games that are like extremely realistic, or you could literally be solving all sorts of, because your mind could be focused on all the different components of what it takes to do a thing. And then when you wake up, you have the knowledge that it takes to then interpret that to the world, but also we've already connected to your brain. We know that you had this conference call that's like, it's in your brain and we're workshopping whatever it is that your research team is developing for stuff like different types of technology or different types of health ideas or um, you know, making your games happen in real time. Like, you imagine instead of having Unreal Engine or whatever else, and you have to go to a computer and interface with that with your keyboard and whatever else, you could real time be animation versus animated, and you are the chosen one with the power to control everything that's in the simulation. Like that stick figure. You could literally just go into the universe, manipulate stuff in the dream realm, and just have some fun making things. And then, like, you could take that stuff and outsource it and then put it as an actual game, or you could make movies, or you could make TV shows and three-dimensional art pieces and do your taxes. I don't know. You could be an Uber driver. Yeah, you could be someone who's like, well, they're currently asleep right now at the wheel, but that's because their brain is alert and they're actually hooked up to the system, so it's like their body is asleep, but they are the jet basically like the AI, they're able to see all of the things. They're able to see in the many different types of like LiDAR and the three-dimensional scope with the many different cameras and entire observation and 4K um, graphics and stuff, so we know exactly what's going on at all given times. Not only that, but everywhere and anyone and everyone and anything, all of the cars, all having this technology that's like beyond superhero type stuff, but only because we can pull you into the dream realm. You can't do this with regular interfaces. It's not enough. But in dreams, it is possible because we have full three-dimensional space. Like if you want to be controlling perhaps a drone that can then see things ahead of time, or you would just, every other car and every other thing would be able to assist in, like imagine a whole array of cameras looking in all directions so that, and using thermal imaging and using all sorts of other ways of seeing things so you know if like a squirrel is going to cross the road or deer are nearby and they're coming towards the road and you're going to avoid them. And then you can communicate to the rest of the people controlling all the rest of the cars so that they also adjust their speed so that no one ends up in a random collision, no one ends up surprised. Everything is all managed. Do you guys like this idea? I got more. Thanks for hanging out with me. I like it when you do. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully that was interesting. It would be better if I had presentations to go along with it. But I mean, rewatch the video, try to understand what I was saying.